Oh man,
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Siyani boy, man, how you doing today?
Man, I'm feeling blessed, man. I'm feeling grateful, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. First and foremost, man, it's been a minute, hadn't it?
It's been a little while, bro. It's been a little while. How you been, bro?
Man, out here living life, man. Like this adult life, this adult swag. It's a lot.
It's
I'm pretty
real.
sure you know. I'm pretty
It's
sure
real
you
out here. It's real out here.
know. But how's everything been for you, man?
Man, it's great, bro. It's great just growing this brand, just growing this business, and it's really such a satisfying thing, especially since, it's really just giving back to the mental health community, and it's a cause I can really relate to, throughout, being at Fort Valley and running this business. I've had, like, the lowest of lows, like the lowest of lows. And, through those experiences, along with my business growing, I felt like it's at the point now where it's like, you know what, you went through that. Now you can give back to the people who are experiencing that or will experience that and be like, hey, look, like, you're not the only one. It's really a common thing, but guess what? Like, there's people out here who can conquer it. There's people out here who can more than survive, who can flourish. And, I just want that to be what our brand stands for, really.
I love it. So let's start with this. So there's always a story behind the name. So tell us about, the name Grvy Wear. Like, how did you come up with that, especially tying it back to mental health?
Okay, so originally it started off as just groovy, like regular groovy, like Grovy. And at that point, I was just kind of making a store just because, like, I just wanted to make clothing and whatnot. But after a time, I was like, it would be a little bit more catchy if I just dropped the two O's. But then I was like, that might confuse little people. And I'm like, you know what? I can make that an acronym. And I'm like, what letters can I go with Grvy that really represents me? And it didn't take long at all. It's like the words just flowed to me. Grateful, relentless, valiant, and youthful, and tying that back to mental health, gratitude is the biggest thing I learned. Gratitude. Sometimes we just take just this, just, waking up in the morning for, granted, bro. So grateful for almost anything. Grateful for waking up, being able to walk, being able to see, being able to hear, just gratitude in general. Relentless in your passion, relentless in life, relentless in whatever you want to achieve. Got to stay relentless and you'll get to that. Valiant, staying full of courage, with your chest pulled out, be like a leader, very valiant and youthful. As we grow older, we kind of lose that I don't want to say childish, but that inner kid in us, making life a little bit more dull, kind of, tying back to the grateful part. So, grateful, relentless, valiant, and youthful. I feel like that is what we really stand on.
Wow. So first and foremost, that's powerful. And I think it just ties back to how I met you. So I want to just go back to that moment, right? So let's travel back, okay, to 6 years ago. It's been 6 years. Okay, first and foremost. It is currently August 2021, and the freshmen at Fort Valley, FSU 25, are currently doing their orientation week. And we started our college journey August 2015. So tell the people how you met me.
Woo, man, listen. I remember I was moving in. I got my all stuff moved in. I met the other roommates, Rel,
Yeah.
Dre. Shout out,
Yeah.
shout out to Rel. Shout out to Dre,
Dre, yeah.
And I met Randall. And off rip, when I met Randall, no shots and no disrespect to anybody else, but I could tell off rip, he was just so well spoken, so very well articulated. Like, from the first time I met him, and I kind of gave him this nickname as I seen him on campus. I'm like, bro, you like a little Stephen A. You a little Stephen A, bro. You Stephen A. That's what you is, bro. Because he was so well spoken and he knew sports, especially basketball, like the back of his hand, right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, Stephen A. And what's it called? One thing I can say about Randall, he was serious about his grind. He was serious about his grind. He was in his dorm room 20, and I was an introvert. I was an introvert just because I'm an introvert. No, Randall was in his room all the time. People come by. What Randall doing, bro? He in there grinding, working on you. You already know how he do. In there grinding, working on his book, working on, being an interview, working on his packet, all of that. So I'm like, yes, bro, like that right there. Yes, bro. I respect that. Offer it.
So first and foremost, I appreciate that. And meeting you. So when I met you, you were so zen, man. Like, and then you were like, hey, my name's Siyani, but call me Swoosh. You know what I'm saying? Because you wore the Nikes. I'm like, all right, Swoosh. I don't be liking saying folks nicknames. You know what I'm saying? Because I get it from my mom. Because my mom, like we have a cousin now. She might be watching this. Her name is Kyla, but we call her Kyla, but my mom calls her by real name Danielle. So I
Right.
always sort of got it from mom. Like, Mom, why you always call Kyla Danielle? She's like, well, everybody calls her Kyla. I want to call her Danielle. I want to be different. I'm like, I feel that, Mom. So I'm gonna call me by their real name. But you one of the only folks I call, because I would alternate. I'd be like Swoosh Siyani. I would alternate, and you was so zen, like you would you would meditate. I remember you used to meditate by the tennis court. I was walking to Dr. Mazerov's class one time because I know it was like a Wednesday. So I'm leaving the dorm. I had me a little something to eat. So I'm walking the long way to Miller Hall, and you're up on the hill meditating. I'm like, what's he doing? But here's the thing. Now, in this era where we're very much talking about mental health and all of that, I totally get it. I understand completely now why you used to do that, man. I think we all need to be up there with you at this point.
And back at the time, and I knew, like, people would pass by, you know what I'm saying? Like, people would tell me, like, oh, like, bro, you kind of weird. Like, what you doing that for? What you doing that for? And I knew that, but I just didn't care, bro, because honestly, bro, it helped me out. And, honestly, even though there was those people who would be like, oh, bro, why you doing that? Oh, bro, you weird. It was like there was an equal amount that came up to me like, bro, I see you meditate. Oh, that's real, bro. Bro, you kind of inspired me to do that. Oh, I think I'm going to start meditating now. So you know what? And I always been that kid. I was that chubby kid in school. So I always been used to being picked on and whatnot. So when I got to college, I'm like, bro, I've been going through this since like K through 12. Like, whatever y'all got to say, don't bother me. So when people told me, they came up to me, they was like, you know what? You doing that gave me like, oh, he doing it. I can do it too. So just to I don't know, light that light in some people's head, that was just, more than enough for me. So
I think that's dope, man. It's just like you were on the mental health wave before everybody else, and I think, and it's crazy because, and I'm gonna talk about this later on. I was watching, the Untold Malice at the Palace documentary, and it's interesting because Ron Artest talked about how he had anxiety and depression leading into that historical moment that literally changed, the face of basketball. And I was like, you know what? That's something that I know I wouldn't have really been receptive to, or anybody probably watching this or hearing him would have been receptive to in 2015, or especially in 2004, that he has anxiety and depression. He was dealing with that and he couldn't control his emotions. You were on that from Jump Street, because even when we were going through stuff, Dre was going through stuff in band, I'm going through stuff with all these different people. You like, hey man, just chill, you just think about it. Like, you were like the dorm therapist, like it was real, man. So let me ask this before we get to just the genesis of the business. So when did you really start to get on mental health and really make that a priority? Like, when did you get on that?
Honestly, bro, because around 2015, I did it just to keep my mind sharp. Of course, being in Fort Valley, being a freshman, you go through those, peaks and valleys, being on your own and whatnot. But I would say I was probably at my lowest point, specifically in 2016 and then again in 2019. And in both of those instances, I had stopped meditating. I had stopped meditating for a solid minute. And it was like I just had to learn the hard way. And like in 2016, man, it was just a lot of things happened. My brother almost died in a car accident. School wasn't going too well. Job wasn't paying good. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, just a whole bunch of stuff. So, and I was overthinking. I'm an overthinker and whatnot. That overthinking led to anxiety. Then that anxiety led to depression. So it's kind of like a trickle effect. And I'm like, dang, like what's going on? Like, why does my brain so scrambled? Then around early 2017, I moved down to South Carolina with my mom before I made my little return to Fort Valley. And it's like when I got in that whole new environment, back freshman year, I was real chubby, like real chubby,
Yeah.
But
you were a football player though. You came in from playing football.
I was, no, that's true. And Fort Valley didn't let me, Fort Valley didn't see my talent, so hey, it is what it is. But there was no reason for me to be that big. So when I transitioned where I was at, started working out. When I started working out, I got back on my meditating, and it was like those two things combined, everything kind of just fell in place after that. So I was like, okay, keep on meditating, keep on my physical keep doing my physical strength, keep doing my mental strength, and everything is good. And it was like that for a while. I was good in 2017, came back good in 2018. Then in 2019, I moved into the UVs, really took a step out, really paying my own bills now and whatnot. And, being young and naive, I tried to juggle going to school, having multiple jobs, trying to build the brand and paying bills and getting food like that. That was a fail. And through all those things, I again forgot to meditate. So then again, boom, it took another dip and another tragic thing happened. My car caught on fire on one day. Yes, and I was in the car. Like I was driving the car. I was driving the car. You know where R&R is at. You know where R&R is at?
Yeah, and we got to break down the terms. So UVs is University Village. That's off-campus apartments that students stay in. And R&R, what does R&R stand for?
R&R, what does R&R stand for? I'm not sure, but
R&R is like a gas station that folks go buy food in because they're tired of the cab. But we want to break down, the Fort Valley lingo for the people.
Right. I got you. But the R&R gas station, and driving down the street, my car just shut off because it had some problems overheating and whatnot. And out of nowhere, before I could even react, I'm on the phone with my girlfriend. I just see a flame shoot up from the hood. Boom. The first thing in my mind is GTA. Like, I got like 5 seconds to get out this car before it explodes, right? So I get out the car. Just a little side note. I worked at a little place with kids, so I bring my PlayStation 4 for the kids to play. When I got out the car, I turned around, see my PlayStation 4 in the passenger seat. And it was like a And I was like, I need that PlayStation 4. So I ran back to my car, grabbed the PlayStation 4. Boom. Took it out, ran across the street, ran all the way down the road. It didn't blow up. Everything was good, but it was burning for a good minute. Burned up about half the car all the way to my back seat until the Fort Valley police came. Really blessed because when I was running down the street away from my car, I just so happened to pass by a cop car. So I don't know how long that car would have burned. I don't know if it would have exploded if that cop car didn't just so happen to pass by me running away from my car. And then also, mind you, my car was right next to a gas station. So I don't know how bad that could have gotten.
Lord. That could have been terrible.
That could have made Middle Georgia news.
Yeah, because first and foremost, it's like that's a serious situation. But you said Grand Theft Auto. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, so I definitely understand what you're talking about because my car's caught on fire a lot of different times ever since I've been playing. So I know you got a little moment. You see that fire, you gotta go. So I totally understand that. Stop, drop, and roll is one thing, but you think of that Grand Theft Auto mindset, you see that car catch on fire, that thing, boom, you wasted. All right, so first of all, I understand that. That's first of all, I understand that. But also, you went back and got your PlayStation 4?
Bro, honestly, bro, at the time, like I said, it was a very hard time in my life. And that PlayStation 4 was probably one of the only things that was keeping me sane. So, I also didn't have the money to, splurge on another PlayStation 4. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to have to, tap in, run like a 4 flat 40, get that bag, and run back across the street. Blessed enough that I was okay. The officer, I had a gas tank. It was empty. Well, it had a little bit of gas in it, but it had a gas tank in my back seat too. So that was a good thing. I had a gas tank in my back seat too. So a lot.
What the world? Like that? I'm just glad you're here, man. You still have the PlayStation 4? You still got it?
I'm sorry. You broke up a little bit, bro.
So do you still have the PlayStation 4?
Of course.
Like you better put that in the museum when you make it. Like, listen, this PlayStation 4 that I went back and got before the car exploded. You got to finesse. Was like, listen. So I was in the car, right? And then the car caught on fire. I know I had 5 seconds to get out. So I ran, and I was like, my PlayStation 4 is in there. So boom, I'll go back and get it. And then I ran, and I dove in slow motion, and the car exploded. You got to do that soldier work where it's like, yeah, I saw him in there. So I said, fire. You got to get that soldier work.
Hey, you got to,
You got to get that soldier work here, man. So
for real.
That is crazy. So, like, I didn't know any of this. This is all new information to me because I know for us, I know my junior year, 2017, I was grinding. I was HBCU All-Stars, doing a lot of different things, trying to run the foundation. Then I started, commentating the basketball games. I was running with the basketball team, doing all this different stuff. So I remember a distinct conversation we had in 2017. So at this time, you were working at Walmart, and you were not feeling working at Walmart. I think it was because we had multiple conversations around that time. But I think this was like a day we in the calf. It's like lunch. It's like a Tuesday. It was like a dead day. It wasn't like Wednesday and like that. It was like a Tuesday. We just sitting there chilling, and you just telling me when we're sitting. I got a great memory. We're sitting by the window. You know, the calf is different now. We're sitting by the window by the Greek walk, and like we're sitting at that window table, and you're telling me about, man, like, you know, all this stuff going on at Walmart. So walk us through that moment, because I thought that was a very huge moment for your business. So walk us through that moment.
You said when I was telling you at the calf or when I was at Walmart. Repeat that one more time, bro.
Okay, so you were working at Walmart.
Right,
so
right,
I remember you sit down with me and you're telling me about how you're not feeling working at Walmart, and you're like, man, I want to quit. I got this business, got my business Grvy Wear, and I'm trying to get it going. And I think you told me you're using the money to sort of fund the dream. You know, so tell us about that and that period of you working at Walmart trying to make the dream work.
So there's 3 sagas to me working at Walmart, because I've worked at multiple Walmarts, you know, just being around. So in 2017, before I came back to Fort Valley, I worked at the Walmart in Beaufort, South Carolina. That's where I initially, you know, got the money to start my brand, to start my business. You know, that Walmart was decent, good people there. Shout out to the Beaufort Walmart. After that, I came back to Fort Valley. I worked at the Walmart in Perry. Funny thing about that Walmart is that I was working there for a while. You know, it was solid. It was good. To make a long story short, even though I didn't want to work there, I actually got fired for a for really a bogus reason. There was really just mismanagement and miscommunication between the managers. There was a day I had taken off. I had someone take that shift for me, but they didn't you know, correct that in the system. So they saw it as a tardy or an absence. And on top of that, for some reason, they didn't acclimate my school schedule into the system. And I repeatedly told them, like, hey, I'm not going to be here Tuesday and Thursday because I have literature and then I have economics. And they're like, okay, we got you. Little did I know, every single time I didn't come in on Tuesday and Thursday, I was getting an absence. Little did I know. Right. So to make a long story short, I came back to Connors to see my old high school playing the first playoff game. It was great. Came back the next day, tried to clock in. Couldn't clock in. Tried to clock in. Again, still couldn't clock in. One of the managers came up to me. They was like, hey, one of the assistant managers want to speak to you in the back. Gave me the whole rundown. They was like, you got too many absences. You have to go. Now, at this time, it's late 2018. 2019 is on the horizon. This is when I started to have my second dip because, you know, Walmart, it was some good money. I had been working there for a while, so I had a little bit of extra, you know, 50-cent dollar on my paycheck. It was hard to find a job because, you know, it's Perry, it's Warner, it's Fort Valley. You know, there's not like a lot of good jobs down there. So, you know, around that time, I was just, you know, looking for jobs, going through it, you know, working multiple low-paying jobs just to, you know, pay the bills. I didn't have enough money to fund the business anymore, so that kind of got put on halt. And, you know, I stopped meditating, so my mental health took a nosedive. You know, things after another. The car caught on fire. Something else happened. Something, you know. So that's how things kind of started to go. But from those experiences and from that time, I definitely learned a lot. I feel like rebirth from the ashes, like a phoenix or something like that. So I am, at the end of the day, grateful for those experiences.
So tell us about how things changed from the business since then, because you've been making moves. You've been selling the shoes and the sweatshirts and the sweaters. So tell us about how things have been since then. So don't talk about the COVID part. We're going to talk about COVID in a second. But take us from that moment of that low point to maybe December 20. Maybe do March 2020 before COVID, because that's a whole different question. All right, because that's a different story. So tell us about how, you know, things grew from there.
So from there, and this is, you know what, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. This is exclusive, man. Don't nobody but maybe like 2 or 3 people notice. Not even my parents notice. I think my grandmother watching this. My grandmother watching this. She might not know this either. I'm sorry, Nana. After I had went through those trials and tribulations, I want to say we're sitting at mid 2019. The fall semester of 2019 is about to begin, right? I was starting to go to class. Now I'm trying to go to class. I'm still working these 2 low-paying jobs. My brand is already gone. I'm still trying to go to the gym. I'm still trying to stay in the gym too. And also at the same time, I'm still trying to pay bills. but I'm still not meditating. So day by day, my mental health is getting worse. It's getting worse. My grades are getting worse. Class is getting worse. I'm forcing myself to go to work because I need somewhere to stay. To make a long story short, it was around, I want to say, late September, October, and I'm gonna be straight up. I just stopped going to class in general, bro. Like, I didn't go to a single class for the rest of the semester, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, there were some days I would just wake up in my dorm room and just like stare at the ceiling and it'd be like what's the point? Like, what's the point of any of this? And shout out to my girlfriend, Alicia. She was, there for me, really the only light at that time. But, like I said, I'm gonna be raw, I'm gonna be real. Like, I just woke up some days and my thoughts would get to my head so much, like I would literally like just sometimes I would like break down and just cry in my room. I'd be like, bro, like what is going on, bro? Like, what am I doing? Like like what am I doing wrong? Like, can I get a sign? Can I get an answer? Like, what is it? And going through all that, and at the end of that semester that I didn't finish, that I really completed only halfway of, I told my parents like I wanted to come back home. I wanted a fresh new start. I didn't want to, be down here anymore. I wanted to focus on my brand. I wanted, really do me. I just wanted to hit a major restart button, major restart button. And that's what I did. And now, January 2020, I got a little moving job, paid some good money, $15 an hour. I'm starting to rake in some money for, building up my brand. I'm like, okay, I got a good paying job, I get some decent hours. I'm getting good money. Not to say I'm not ashamed to say that I'm living back with my dad now. So I'm saving money too. So I'm not ashamed to say that. And
Same here.
then March 2020 hit and COVID hit, and what's it called? All the hours got cut at my job, and all that. So to end it right there at that timeline, March 2020 hit. COVID kind of cut my hours, but it's still good. Like, that's like the uptick though. They were still going up at that time.
So let's go into the uptick. So COVID had a disproportionate effect on a lot of businesses, but it also caused a lot of business to move into like the green or the black, as they say. I know, for example, with Pulse, like we were progressing, we were doing good. We had 10,000 August 2019, and then we hit 15,000 going into November. So we're rising and rising. I'm working with the National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame around this time. We're touring these different HBCUs. Then COVID happens, right? So I just applied to work at iHeartRadio. So literally, I do the interview that Monday, have my talk with my boss, and I start hearing, different news that these schools about to start shutting down because of COVID. And I knew what it was, but I didn't really truly understand it. So things get shut down, and I'm like, man, what's gonna happen? And we end up growing like from 20K to 30K. You know what I'm saying? Like, just off the strength of just us just pushing out content. Just 1,000 a week at a certain point. And you look at Versus grew. You know what I'm saying? Right. All these different brands were growing. These are like Pulse is a media brand. Versus is a music brand that segued into media and performance. But how did the pandemic affect your business? You say you experienced an uptick. So what did that uptick look like for you?
An uptick, basically. So after the whole 2019 ordeal, I was close to, honestly, I was the closest I've ever been to giving up on my brand. And I wouldn't even say really giving up, because I just don't do it. But it was like, it was so far in the back of my mind, I almost forgot about it. I'm like, wait, I do own a website. I do own a brand. And moving back to Connors in 2020, I was able to save up money. I was able to save up money. And I was able to start advertising again. I was able to get my Instagram start going. I was able to do all this whole bunch of stuff. And, the COVID hit. And honestly, to be honest, even though COVID hit, the stimulus checks and the unemployment checks were actually helping me out. So, I was starting to advertise. I was getting some, sales here. I was getting a little bit of, exposure here, a little bit of exposure there. I want to say the brand really hit the next level. Shout out to my man, Brett. He probably not in here right now. He's my mentor. Shout out to my man, Brett. He was the one who came along and saw my website. He's like, hey, you got like great potential here, but nobody gonna like this, nobody gonna like this, nobody gonna like that. And I appreciated that, because he kept it 100 with me. Like, he kept it a buck. He was like, all this is decent, but this is a no, that's a no, and this is a no. So we're gonna start there and build up. And ever since he took me under his wing, it shot off like a rocket. And that's around like August 2020, September 2020. Sales really started to roll in. Also, shout out to Mr. Noel. He might not be in this live. Mr. Anwar and Mr. Noel. I had a great sit down with them. They were able to give me, you know, some funding for my business that really helped, you know, really kick-start it to where it is right now. And yeah, all through 2020, I was you know, grinding, had hit a little rough patch at the end of 2020, you know, learning and whatnot, running the business. Then I want to say around February of this year, 2021, is when we really took off like a rocket. You know, we got Conceited from Wildin' Out to give us a little shout out. We got some, you know, influencers. We got our kids, you know, follow our kids at DYK Kings. They're a little celebrity dance group. You know, we got some, you know, notable ambassadors and whatnot. You know, just people really repping our brand in a very, you know, professional way. So I'm very grateful for them.
Right. So first and foremost, I think that story is dope. And what I'm trying to do right now is that I'm trying to find that Conceited video, because I'm gonna show off real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the Conceited video? Like, let me see if I can find. Cause I know I was looking at it. I was doing my research. Cause I was gonna play it. Like, but like the video with Conceited, I gotta ask you that before we close out. How did you get that video? Was that like an endorsement that you know you paid for? Or was that a situation where you sent him some product and he rocked with it? Because Wild 'N Out's on right now. I don't think he's on this episode because he wasn't on the one yesterday. I'm good about that. Which that was wrong. He should have been on the last episode, Nicholas. But still, all right. So talk to us about how you got Conceited.
All right. So to make a long story short, go ahead and be 100. It was a paid advertising, but to be honest, he said that he really did mess with the brand. He said he appreciated, you know, being obviously, you know, a black-owned business, and he sees that, you know, we're grinding, trying to get our way up. So not only did he appreciate us for that fact, he also gave me a slight discount, you know, and after, you know, the transaction was done, he did the videos for us. He said he appreciated the way we do business, and if we ever need another shout out, you know, just hit him up again. So, you know, he's a real cool dude, you know, real New York though. There was a moment in time where I was taking a little while to reply to him, and he was like, hurry up, time is money. And he said that. I was like, oh, okay, like, hold up, like, all right, I'm dealing with, like, you know, I'm dealing with somebody.
You used to act like you were from New York. You used to act like that.
I was like, okay, let me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, you know, this the price. And he's like, no, this the price. I said, no, this the price. He's like, okay, this is the price, but you got to do this too. I'm like, fair enough. And then, you know, boom, bang, happened like that. You know, shout out to Conceited. Very down to earth. I did not think he would answer my my DM. I really just messaged a whole bunch of influencers, like million follower influencers, you know, just throwing a shot in the dark, and Conceited reply, and that was a blessing. So
real quick, you know we do it big over here, man. So I'm gonna play the Conceited endorsement clip.
Boy, Conceited, aka Mr. Cut the Beat. And this Friday, that's right, this Friday, Black Friday, we got 60%, that's right, 60% off of Grvy Wear. All right, the Instagram is GRVYWEAR. Hope you can spell, because that's Grvy Wear, but in a swaggy way. But forget that, 60% off. That's right, 60% off of Black Friday, and they got excellent customer service. Go get your clothes, your sneakers, everything. It's their own brand, and they're killing it. All right, so salute to y'all, and salute to the people who are gonna take advantage of this sale. Go.
That was dope. First and foremost, is he rapping? Is he rapping? I thought I was gonna say, hold on, I just dissed you. I was like, is he rapping right now?
No, that's a good idea though. I'm gonna keep that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
We're brainstorming that. We're brainstorming. Okay. You know, so that's dope. Like I thought that was really cool. And there's nothing wrong, you know, with buying endorsements. Like, because it's like, you know, you want to get your business out there, you want to put a face on it. There's nothing wrong with that, especially within this influencer culture. And you shot, like I said, you shot at the dark, and you were able to get Conceited, and that moved your business in a whole different direction. The only time I do not like endorsements, this goes to the HBCU realm, for my students that are watching, that are running for election positions. I don't like endorsements for that, because if I'm paying Conceited to speak for me, because he don't know me, You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't never seen my leadership. He don't know what type of person I am. So if I'm paying Conceited to do an endorsement, hey, vote Randall to be SGA president, or vote Randall to be Mr. Fort Valley, like, people gonna ride out the way that's Conceited. Meanwhile, I could be a terrible person or not even a good leader or qualified for the position, but I'm riding off the cloud of Conceited and wilding out, so I win. And but it might backfire you because folks will call you out and be like, that man don't know Conceited. Man, he probably bought that endorsement. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's sort of like the vibe in how things go, and why I don't like endorsements for campaigns, but for businesses, 100%, because you're putting a face on your brand. So I really like that. But overall, let's go and end off the interview like this, right? So where do you see your business a year from now?
A year from now? Ooh. Honestly, a year from now, and shout out. First, I want to give a shout out to the Good Human campaign, and shout out to Karina Chanel. She really inspired me with how they operate their clothing brand. You know, doing a lot of charities, doing a lot of give backs, doing a lot of hosting a lot of events for the community. And I saw that, and it was like, that's exactly what I want to do. So a year from now, I'm not saying I want. A year from now, there will be a Grvy Wear event. We will be hosting a charity. You know, we will be doing something big for mental health. Along with donating to the Mental Health Association of America, we're definitely going to do that. We don't want to just donate because anybody can just get some money and donate, right? We want to be hands-on, That's why if you go to the Grvy Wear page, we post tips, we post, quotes that help people that may be dealing with mental health. So I want to do something, right now, I do my meditation thing, maybe a live meditation in the morning for everybody, and I'm really just brainstorming right now, but I want to do more than just donate. I want to say that I actually help that person. I hope that person conquer this. I hope that person realize that they don't have to, they don't have to be trapped inside their mind by their thoughts. I can teach them that, no, this is not how you're supposed to live your life in a loving, abundant, and joyous way. And I want to help you get over that hurdle because I was at that same hurdle. And I'm going to reach my hand out and be like, look, I got you. We're going to do this together. If I can help you, I'm going to help you. So that's what it's all about, bro. Just helping people as much as I can. Hey, Mom.
I love it. And the thing that I really like about the brand is that I saw it grow. And I didn't know a lot of the stuff you said in this interview, man. So first and foremost, shout out to you, man. And you lived a very adventurous time at Fort Valley. Like, I'm in my room, I'm in my bubble building 1. I didn't know you was dodging fires and all this different stuff. Like, that's wow. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
So
and just a little cherry on top of that, just to shout out, I'm doing a lot of shout outs because I'm grateful for, a lot of experiences, a lot of people. Shout out to my kids that if any of my kids are here, shout out to my kids that, I worked with and I watched over at the Georgia Center of Youth in it's not in where was that? It was around Fort Valley. I can't remember the exact city, but shout out to my kids from the Georgia Center of Youth. Really humbled me, man. It was a group home. A lot of kids from a lot of different backgrounds been through some things that humbled me, that make me never want to complain about nothing ever again in my life. I done heard the worst of the worst, and I really grew on those kids. They really taught me a lot of lessons. I taught them stuff. And it was like an exchange in wisdom. So shout out to those kids, man. That's all I just wanted to say.
I love it, man. So just to close out the interview, because that was powerful and it's about service, and that's one thing HBCUs are about. So shout out to you first and foremost for that service, and just really for always being mellow, man, always being chill. And I was saying this before we started the interview. I'm a huge fan of Damon John, and if folks don't know Damon, he is the black man on Shark Tank, the only black man on Shark Tank.
He the GOAT, for real.
And he paved the way for the lane that you're in. Because one thing I was thinking about as I was preparing for this interview is that I'm like, man, what if Damon John had a website? What if he had drop shipping? What if he had the budget and these different things were like he don't even have to leave New York or go out in the street. He can just sell from his house, drop ship all over the world. Imagine what he would have become. He'd be a billionaire right now. He'd be a trillionaire right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that hustle, it's the culture, and also he was moving with a purpose because FUBU stood for us, by us. So I see a lot of that in you, man. You know what I'm saying? So I really want you to channel that and just continue to grow because the sneakers are dope, man. You know what I'm saying? The whole entire brand is dope. The sneakers, like a lot of folks are falling off the major brands. A lot of folks ain't rocking with it. You know, Jordan has a stranglehold on the black community. However, a lot of folks are falling off of it and they're trying to find black-owned shoe companies and sneaker companies and they can't find them. So I definitely hope that as we move into 2022 and people get back outside, homecoming's coming up, that you get some sales and you get folks that are rocking with the brand because you're doing an amazing job, man.
And you know what? I'm gonna have to ask you. First, when is the Fort Valley homecoming? Is it October or November?
It is in October. It is October. Oh man, what was that? Oh well. It is so Fort Valley's homecoming is October, I believe the 23rd.
Okay, October 23rd. I'm gonna have to tap in with you. I'm gonna have to ask some questions, but I want to see if I can set up a vendor or like a little, something down there. So I'm gonna have to tap in because I know you know some folks in Fort Valley.
Yeah, so. Because now, granted, Fort Valley has changed a lot since I left. However, I did sell at homecoming 2018. I sold out there. It was raining, but we was touching money, man. I'm telling you, like especially if you have like, and I'm gonna say this real quick game. Where I messed up when I sold at homecoming was this. I didn't have the inventory. So what I did was, because I understand from a business perspective now, because I've always had hustle sense, but now to understand, now I'm crunching numbers, all this different stuff. Like my input price was so much that the money that I made, my profit was so low because I put so much into it. Because I got my shirts, my I Bleed Blue and Gold shirts, I got that from Custom Ink. So Custom Ink to rush ship it was a gang of money. Now, granted, they looked out for me because I had a deal where it was like, okay, so you can vend, we know you. Because that's somebody else I was going in with at that time. You might remember. I asked somebody else I was going in with, and then last minute they backed out. So I'm like, so listen, it was going to be 2 people, but I can't do like the whole entire thing where I could pay the whole $360 up front. And the woman that was over it, she was like, no, you're good. I know what you're doing. You write books, all this different stuff. You're good. Like, I'm gonna let you go in for like $225. And I'm like, oh man, I really appreciate it. So that took some burden off my back. My mom and my dad, put up some money because they understood what was going on. So I still went in half, and then I had rushed to get Custom Ink to ship it. And it came out perfect because Custom Ink does great printing. Right. But I touched, probably almost 700, but it was eaten up by the fact that I paid probably roughly 400, 500 to ship them down there, plus the vendor price. I probably made no profit. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking back, I'm not that great at math. I was a mass comm manager. However, looking at the business, I probably lost money. However, I did get myself out there, and then I lost even more money when I did the Fountain City Classic. Now, Albany State was showing love, Fort Valley was showing love, but there and still, I lost money, and then I used another vendor because it was a quick turnaround, and Custom Ink was like horrible. But I used another vendor, and it came out like glitter. It was like glitter shirts. I'm like, bro, nobody asked for this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was an interesting experience. And I know for you, you're gonna have an inventory. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have the inventory on hand, especially if you get t-shirts. That's people buy that easy. So if you have the inventory on hand at the Fountain City Classic or any of the the different football functions or whatnot, you're gonna make money because of the inventory, and your input price is gonna be low. So go for it. Go for it because you're reaching out to people, and if they allow vendors, COVID is still a thing. If they allow vendors, man, you go in and kill it, man. So I can definitely try to point you in the right direction.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, definitely. And for any Grvy Wear supporters, Grvy Wear shirts, Grvy Wear sweaters, Grvy Wear bomber jackets coming very soon. Very soon.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So real quick before we go, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Ajna, A-G, oh, no. Oh, excuse my French. AJNA_swoosh. Follow me at Ajna Swoosh. Or you can just, follow us at Grvy Wear, GRVYWEAR. Follow us, shoot me a DM. I'm not too good to reply on Grvy Wear or the other ones. So you got any questions, anything like that, just hit me up.
I don't want to say this, man. Someone's about to get some free followers, boy. AG. Someone's about to get a bunch of followers, boy. Like, where these folks came from? You know
AJNA. Yeah. My lady just put it right there. AJNA_swoosh.
they might be like, where these folks came from? They want some Grvy Wear, right?
Talking about where they order at. Who this?
But man, it was amazing talking to you, man. Siyani, I'm proud of you, man. From building 7 to the world. It's crazy.
Hey,
6 years. 6 men. 6 years.
It was written, man. What's it called? It was written. It was supposed to go this way, man.
Right.
You know, the fact that, you know, we was roommates and whatnot, it was supposed to happen. I feel like, you know what, this probably not even gonna be the last time, bro. This not even gonna be the last time. We both gonna grow from here, and we gonna meet up with each other, and we be like, remember that time at Fort Valley? All right, remember that time we had our first interview? Now it's like our third interview. You know what I'm saying? We probably living real good by then. You probably done met Stephen A. Smith and everything like that by then. I'm, you know, probably the host of a couple of charities. So we gonna be, you know, real good, real big by then, you know? So
most definitely, man. But man, Siyani, I appreciate you, man, and keep grinding, and we're definitely gonna tap in soon, man.
yes, sir, bro. I appreciate you, man. Love everybody that came, bro. For real. Thank you.